just reacting to
Is
this
that all
video.
you got? I'm not even breaking a sweat,
Oh.
It's time to learn
Poland's
geography now! By the way, this is my buddy Art. He's half Polish. Art, do you know anything about Poland? I know nothing about Poland, but I know my last
How
name
does
means
he know
on
nothing
Friday.
about Poland if he's half Polish?
So anyway, I have another Polish friend named Conrad who's actually also going to be in this episode. He's Polish and he speaks Polish. Hey, that guy. Well, Art, you can also play Poland in the skits and stuff in this episode. Is that cool? Yeah, I guess so. All right, cool.
Okay.
Anyway, hey everybody, I'm your host Barbs. Welcome to the Wolverine of Europe. The Poles know how to deal with calamity, and if there was ever a mutant apocalypse, you would probably want one on your team. In any case, let's begin. How to piss off a Polish person 101. Oh man, I just visited Poland. I sure loved that Eastern European country. It's Central European. Yeah, they don't like being called Eastern Europe, even though, I mean, come on, they're kind of more on the eastern side of the continent, and it's... Okay, Central European, Central. The country is located in Central Europe and bordered by 7 other countries. Keep in mind this little guy right here is a detached exclave of Russia called Kaliningrad. Speaking of which, we already mentioned this in the Germany episode, but Poland shares an island called Usedom, or Uznam, with Germany in this lagoon. The borders follow some natural boundaries like rivers and mountains. However, most of them were agreed upon after war times. The country is divided into 16 voivodeships, or provinces, the capital and largest city of the country, Warsaw, in the center. It also holds the busiest airport, Warsaw International. From there, the second largest city is Krakow, known as the medieval capital, down south, and it holds the second largest airport, John Paul II Krakow International. And rounding out for third place is the city of Łódź, which means boat, nearly in the center of the whole country. Nonetheless, the city of Gdansk holds the third largest airport, Gdansk International, and also the busiest shipping port located on the Baltic Sea, where much of the cargo comes into the country. Otherwise, their entire sea access is confined to the coastline. They do not own any distant islands in the Baltic. Due to the general flat landscape making much of the north and central parts, Poland is a bustling transport hub with numerous roadways that traverse every single corner into every neighboring nation. Since joining the EU, nearly 2 billion euros have been invested in Poland's rail lines, and high-speed lines are being constructed today. Poland doesn't have any autonomous areas, but if we had to discuss historical and cultural regions, many people may just refer to this general area as Masuria, sometimes even historical Prussia. This general area is Pomerania, that's right, same as the dog, which is where it comes from, and the coastal area is Kashubia, where the Kashubians are mostly found. There's Greater Poland, Lesser Poland, which at the very border has Ruthenia, or Red Ruthenia. Parts of the south are considered Silesia, which are inhabited by peoples that have their own distinct culture apart from the Polish. It's all kind of confusing, and we'll talk more about it later. One thing you have to understand is that historically, Poland had a lot of different types of administrative divisions, and much of it was shaped by war. Sometimes they had more land, other times they had less, and for 123 years, they kind of disappeared altogether. Here's Prussia!
Russia!
Austria! Well, actually, they almost completely disappeared. I mean, Krakow was technically a free city-state for about 30 years. And keep in mind, we mentioned this in the Lithuania episode, but if you want to be incredibly technical, historically, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had some colonies. Way back yeehaw, when they thought one island in the Gambia, as well as Trinidad and Tobago, would be good overseas investments, making them the only sites that the Polish had colonized outside of Europe. Then what happened? In the end, it was too hard for them to manage, and they sold them off. The end.
Oh god, what? So we don't need you. Bye.
So anyway, here are some places of interest you guys, the Polish geography, suggested we mention this episode. They have quite a few UNESCO heritage sites. A lot of them are like chapels, the Holy Mountain of Kabarka, the Painted Village